Starship 13 aborts at the pad. NASA finds a near-Earth asteroid. Is it something a little bit different? And India has a private rocket company? All of that and much more on this week's Orbit Weekly.
We are holding at T-minus 60 seconds. Of course, Starship has this ability to hold, unlike Falcon. So we will stand by until that clock resumes. Doing some final checkouts, making sure Starship is fully ready for launch on Flight 13. The second flight of this version of the vehicle, and we continue to count down in at T-minus 55 seconds. Looks like we're going to be targeting 35 seconds past the hour.
We said, I've already told you she's 15, LOL. He said, okay, but I'm going to act like...
Should we depressing the launch out at this point?
I like the quotations to the right? Yeah. No, she's not.
Hopefully we get that 30
seconds.
High up with the DSS, the generation suppressant system, there it is.
15 seconds. 10 seconds to launch. Here comes the water duggage system. Water is in the trench. There's the top deck. We have ignition. And we have an abort. Starship, it's not launching today. It looks like we have 33 Raptors light momentarily, and then an immediate abort with them all shutting off.
Well, that was Ryan Caton with NSF for the NASA spaceflight coverage from Starship 13 this week. SpaceX was fully prepared for a highly anticipated Flight 13 on Thursday, July 16th, with a massive stack sitting on Pad 2 when the countdown was ticking down towards 6:45 p.m. Everything appeared to be nominal until the final moments of the terminal count, moments before the pad's water deluge system was activated. The automated flight computer decided, I don't want to go. That's pretty much what it did. It turns out 4 of the Raptor 3 engines, super heavy. The giant booster has 33. It can fly without 3 of them. 4 of them didn't start. Because the rocket's onboard systems are designed to detect these anomalies instantly, it triggered an automatic shutdown of the remaining 29, successfully preventing what would have been a catastrophic failure. Elon Musk has since confirmed that the team is moving quickly to resolve the issue. Pretty much almost as soon as detanking was done, ship came off, booster came off, and booster rolled right back into the mega bay. They've decided to remove and replace two of the Raptor engines to ensure total confidence for the next attempt. As of right now, SpaceX is targeting a relaunch for early next week, most likely set for Monday, July 20th. This is a perfect example of why these flights are so challenging, and why SpaceX's rigorous abort protocols are there to protect the vehicle and the launch infrastructure, end quote. This whole... we've been watching this for a while, and you'd rather see something like this. Starship has not done this specific thing before. It has scrubbed for weather. It has scrubbed because the ship wasn't ready. It hasn't scrubbed when the booster and the ship were already stacked and it was T0. It's never done that before. So that was quite interesting to watch. And of course, yes, everyone was disappointed. But it is what it is. And as of this recording, it has not made its way back to the pad yet. I am sure it will probably be back at the pad as soon as this video goes up. But it is what it is, right? So let's move on, because India might have some interesting news coming this week. Moving on to international news this week, India is on the verge of a major milestone for its private space sector. Skyroot Space is preparing the inaugural orbital launch of their Vikram 1 rocket, which is a liftoff targeted for Saturday, July 18th. As of recording versus when this video will be posted, we do not have video of that, but we do have a couple of pictures, but that's okay. We'll show them right now. So here's the rocket. Kind of a big dude. Pretty colorful, actually. But yeah. Another rocket makes its way into the rotation. This is a massive deal. It marks the first time that an Indian private company will attempt an orbital class rocket from home soil. The mission, aptly named Agman or Arrival, is a foundational test flight aimed at proving their in-house 3D printed engines and all-carbon composite structure can successfully handle the extreme demands of reaching low Earth orbit. The rocket is roughly 7 stories tall and is designed to carry small satellites up to 350 kilograms. I'm not sure what freedom units that is. I'm sure you could figure it out. For this test flight, the manifest includes a mix of technology demonstrations, including payloads from a German company called D-Cubed, Indian startup Gara Space, and a robotic debris capture arm from Cosmoserve Space. So that could be really cool. That could be really interesting. Skyroot was founded by former ISRO engineers in 2018. Previously made history in 2022 with their suborbital Vikram S launch, but reaching orbit is an entirely different beast. It requires significantly higher speeds and a complex multi-stage sequence. This team has spent years of ground testing, and now they're finally ready to show how it performs in a real environment. This mission is widely seen as the beginning of a shift towards more competitive commercial space ecosystem in India, opening the door for an on-demand launch service from the subcontinent. This could be very interesting for India. As of recording, they only have ISRO, realistically, and they do have a couple private companies, and it's not that they're bad. No, most of their stuff is suborbital, so they're not launching things into an orbit. They're not launching things that can stay up for a really long time. This kind of changes that, so that makes it one that we definitely want to watch, and it could be very interesting to see what happens. Finally, we have a fascinating update from the world of planetary science this week, which kind of reads like a detective story. For decades, a near-Earth object known as 1998 SH2 has been officially classified as an asteroid. But astronomers in a new article have just confirmed that it's actually been hiding a dual personality. It's a comet, actually. A mystery began back in August of 2025 when an object passed within 2 million miles of Earth. NASA's Deep Space Network was ready to track it, but when they looked at their calculations where it predicted to be, the object wasn't there. This unexpected non-gravitational perturbation suggested that something was influencing its path. Specifically, it was venting gas as the sun heated its icy core, creating a small thrust and pushed it off course. By using some of the most powerful observatories on the planet, researchers were able to capture images following a faint but clear tail. This discovery is a big deal for two main reasons. One, the object is being reclassified with a new designation, P 1998 SH2. Second, it helps scientists better understand a mysterious subcategory of objects called dark comets. These are objects that exhibit irregular orbits, but lack the obvious tails or gas clouds we usually associate with comets. It is a perfect reminder that our senses of near-Earth objects is a constant work in progress. By identifying these hidden comets, we aren't just updating the textbooks. We're actually improving the planetary defense models to better understand how these objects move and evolve over time. Or you could just say we're just rewriting the textbook. This specific discovery, we are rewriting the textbook. Isn't that cool to think about? This is This Week in Space Traffic. So, this week we had 3 Starlink launches. We had a Soyuz launch. We had another SpaceX launch, and then we had a failed SpaceX launch. So, we are going to get into all of them. There are a couple ones that are after, like they're on a Saturday. I normally record this on like a Friday afternoon, Friday evening, so we don't really have that information just yet, but we will cover it in the next one. So, this week we started on the 10th with Starlink 1748. This launched at 11:01 a.m. Eastern Time from Falcon 9 booster 1071. This was Flight 35. Now remember, last week we talked about a booster having Flight 36. This one is one behind that, so it could be very interesting to have 2 boosters, possibly around 40 flights apiece. This launched from Slick 4E at Vandenberg, and this was Starlink V2. So the next 2 are also Starlink V2, just to keep that in mind, so I don't have to say it over and over and over again. So the next one was Starlink 15-14 on the 13th at 9:28 p.m. This was booster 1093 for Flight 15. And both of those rockets, I forgot to mention, both of those rockets landed on the drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. They took off from the same pad. So, the next Starlink 1045, which was 714 at 5:10 a.m. Eastern Time, was booster 1080 on Flight 28. This landed on a shortfall of gravitas, and this actually launched from Florida, from Slick 40 at the Space Force Station. Now, now we are getting into some interesting stuff here, because the next launch was actually a Soyuz launch. And we're going to do a little bit of investigation here. I know my notes aren't as great, because I usually just put them all on a table and I just read them across, and if there's any other information, I usually like to say that as well. But this was a Soyuz launch for a crew rotation to the International Space Station. This launched on the 14th at 10:47 a.m. Eastern Time. This was a Soyuz 2.1A rocket from Site 31-6 in Baikonur, Kazakhstan. And this was MS-29, which let's do some quick reading here. Which launched a NASA astronaut to the International Space Station. This was Anil Menon. It's his first space flight. Here is the patch. I think that looks fantastic. That's a great looking patch right there. And it ended up catching up to the ISS and docking about what was it, about 4 or so hours later. It ended up docking around 1:30 Eastern Time. So they're there. They're up there. They're doing stuff. They're doing some cool stuff. And our last launch for the week was Starship 13. And we kind of already talked about this, so I don't think we need to go into it anymore. And that wraps up Orbit Weekly. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, leave a comment. That I don't get many, but I do love reading them, and I try to reply to all of them that I can when I do get a comment as well. If there's something you want me to talk about spaceflight or any other ideas, drop them in there. Let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it, and we will see you next time at Astra.